Dark City is a science fiction mystery film and is directed by Alex Proyas and stars Rufus, Sewell, Kiefer, Sutherland, William Hurt, and Jennifer Connelly. As you can see, I'm joined by a new face. This is Peter. So you've never seen this movie before. I've seen it many times before, and it's definitely a different type of science fiction film. In some ways, you can say this film is kind of like The Matrix before The Matrix.
Yeah, so it was a good movie. It had a quite unique storyline about an invasion from another species and how they were trying to use humans to try and sustain their life.
Yeah, for experiments and all that sort of thing.
For experiments, and it was a really unique storyline. It was good, some pretty good fight scenes, and it had a bit of a Matrix-y vibe to it. Another worldly sort of eerie kind of vibe as a movie, which was real good. It was almost, I'd say it was almost darker and more intense than The Matrix in ways, because of the kind of things that were going on in the movie.
Yeah, because I think with The Matrix, that was more of an action film. This is more like straightforward as you can get. Like, it's a science fiction film wrapped in a mystery, where there's like more like, you know, stuff where you have to pay attention to details, and it's like, it makes you think more.
Yeah, absolutely. I reckon it had a much better storyline, and there was a lot more thinking when it came to this one, and it was probably even a little bit more realistic than The Matrix. From a sci-fi point of view in terms of the movie. But overall, I thought it was a really good movie, and I'm surprised it hasn't been given more attention as a movie.
Yeah, this is often one of the more underrated movies. Like, this one barely gets enough attention. While it does have its cult following, it's, you know, not on the same level as The Matrix. This film didn't even gross that much money at all. This film also has a bit of a noir vibe as well. There's a lot of, you know, heavy shadows, different camera angles. Like, the setting as well has that sort of 1940s vibe. One of the clever details about this film is set mainly during the nighttime, which adds to the noir style that this film is trying to go for.
Yeah, another thing about this movie, I reckon, is it didn't go down the path that you thought it would go as you're watching it. It took so many turns and didn't go down the typical storyline which you were thinking it would probably go down, which I found was a good thing. Normally that can be annoying, but in this one it was quite pleasant.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe it is it doesn't do anything cliche. There will be a lot of moments that you don't expect.
I found this movie, it was more of a thinking movie than a lot of other movies, like a lot of other action movies. It's a lot of sort of loopholes in the storyline, whereas I feel like with this movie there wasn't many loopholes in the storyline, which is always a relief. It was really well thought out and structured movie, which was quite, you know, pleasing.
The characters as well were pretty interesting, and the actors who portrayed them, you know, did a good job. Kiefer Sutherland, he's always on point. William Hurt, I always find enjoyable to watch.
And another thing which I think is worth mentioning is that in the fight scenes it was quite well thought out, because the powers which the aliens and the main good dude had were
mainly telepathic.
Yeah, telepathic, so they were quite strong, but they weren't really effective when it came to fights and hand-to-hand combat, so therefore that was still a component of using hand-to-hand combat in the movie, which made sense. It wasn't like just doing it for the sake of doing it, whereas in some movies it feels like that can be the case.
Overall, this is very much an underrated movie, and if you've never seen this movie before, go and check it out. And if you have seen this movie before, rewatch it, because it's cleverer than you think. The only small nitpick I would say about the film is the CGI does look a little bit dated, but again, that's just a nitpick. But yeah, I very much love this movie. Like, it's technically well done. The performances are great, an interesting story, a fantastic mystery as well. Definitely keeps you invested in what is going on.
Final score I'm going to give this movie out of 10 would be an 8.4.
And I'm going to give Dark City a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5, and this is Peter. Thank you for watching.